So it looks like everybody is finally and officially turning on David. There's a very, very interesting post that's going around today that actually really has caught me by surprise. This is the post that has been put up, and apparently this is David's own little brother, Caleb. Now, there's been a lot of talk about his family. He actually has a little sister that's around the age of Celeste. He's got a younger brother too, who was seen taking Celeste backstage at the show at the Thunder Theatre, and Caleb has been very quiet. There's been talk that his parents have been trying to protect him from the grand jury subpoena. I believe he was on the verge of turning 18 and they were trying to say he's a minor, and then they said, well, he ain't a minor no more. But anyway, a lot of the time it looked like David and his family were really rallying behind him and looking out for him and basically, you know, trying to help him put together his defense and try and help him fight this situation. But what is very, very interesting, and now for the first time we're actually seeing David's own brother appears to have turned on him. He said all PDF files and R words should die. Now, this has been going around. I'm surprised to see this. This sounds like David's brother has finally turned on him, unless this is some fake virtue signaling where he's saying, well, my brother ain't one of those. I feel like this is David's brother, David's own flesh and blood, finally turning on him. Okay, and imagine he randomly passes out after just saying this. I don't know if his brother was implicated. His brother was seen helping take the A minor backstage, but I don't know if he was actually involved in any of what was going on there. But what is very, very interesting is that a lot of people, I believe, are turning against David. More people are crawling out the woodwork to share their opinion on what's going on with him. And I think this is major. So there's not too much analysis on this, but I'll show you a couple other things, and then I'm going to actually do another video going over the whole timeline once again, because there's a few new interesting pieces of info that I've built into the timeline, and we're going to approach the timeline like I did yesterday, but in a slightly different way, and look at how long David might have actually planned this murder for. But before we get to that, there's a couple more interesting posts that I want to show you. Now, this is a post that's been going around. This is an actress that played David's girlfriend in a music video, calling him out and basically trying to distance herself from this freak. And I thought this was really interesting because the rumors are that she was one of the Celeste lookalikes that was cast in the music video. And obviously there's music video upon music video of David basically, you know, creating these scenarios that are eerily similar to what ended up happening in the murder. Not just lookalikes that look just like Celeste, but also scenes in music videos where people are getting their limbs cut off, people are getting hacked up, he's covered in blood. There was even the music video that we saw where he was actually dragging a body and putting it in the trunk of a car and burying it with a camera, which I think says a lot of symbolism. But anyway, let's hear what this woman had to say about the situation, and then I will move on to something else.
Quite a few messages of people asking me if I have anything to do with this, if I know what's going on, and I just wanted to put an end to it. I do not associate with David by any means. I'm an actor. I literally have nothing to do with him. I did it for a job. I did it for a check. I didn't know who David was. I don't follow him on Instagram anymore. I'm going to remove him as a follower. And I think that he deserves even more than what's happening to him right now. He's a monster, and I do not associate with him by any means. I'm not making...
So she's calling him out. She's saying, I want nothing to do with him. Want nothing at all with whatever he's going on. She said she's going to remove him as a follower. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Okay. Now, this is a little bit chilling. I haven't looked at this clip yet. I was actually waiting to react to this with you guys on the video. But apparently Nancy Grace is actually calling out Celeste's family for being silent while the internet's demanding justice for the 14-year-old. Now, I don't agree with this. I personally, I did talk about some of the rumors that, you know, the family had potentially been paid off by David. There was rumors of a $9,000 monthly payment. And, you know, allegedly he was sending the family $9,000 a month because to send $10,000 a month, he would have had to answer some questions at the bank. But anyway, that's just a rumor. I don't think there's any world in which this family is not devastated by the loss of their daughter. I don't think they felt like they were selling their daughter off or they were enabling this relationship. You know, they were probably in a really difficult position. They had an unruly daughter that was going missing. We saw the video of her whiling out at the neighbors. She was a bit of a firecracker, okay? She maybe was a young girl that just couldn't be told what to do, how to behave, okay? And that's tough as a parent. And, you know, finding out she got this older boyfriend, she disappearing into Hollywood for weeks, days at a time. You know, that was probably really difficult. There's no rule book, playbook for how to deal with that. So I really think it's wrong to blame the parents and to call out the parents. But Nancy Grace, she's calling out the family. The family haven't, you know, they delivered a very short statement after, I believe, the second, a day or so after the first day that David was arraigned. But I don't think the family owes anyone anything, honestly. And they need justice. They want justice. Their daughter was murdered, clearly. And I don't think it's fair to call out the family. But let's see what was said. We'll actually get the full context of the clip, and then we can kind of discern whether this is unacceptable attacking of a grieving family, or if there's some merit to at least some of the claims made.
The only ones banging the drum, demanding justice. Brian Fitzgibbons, this is very odd behavior on the parents' part. Never issuing a public plea, never thanking the LAPD for finding their girl, never demanding justice. I'd be laying on the front steps of the courthouse screaming for justice. Nothing. Radio silent. And now an indictment is set to go down, and they're what? What? Where are they?
Yeah, it's incomprehensible, the fact that there hasn't been a large outcry from her family. That being said, there isn't a playbook for these scenarios, but it is a bizarre situation that the media has been standing up for her a lot more than the family.
Why are we the only ones banging the drum, demanding justice?
So she's saying, why are we the only ones banging the drum demanding justice? Well, you don't know. You're not privy to the conversations they've had with the LAPD. And let's be real. Okay, let's be real. All right. I don't get too political, but obviously we're in a very dicey political climate as far as, ICE, immigration. This is a family. Look, I don't know too much about these issues, all right? But this is a Hispanic family. Maybe they've got some issues. Maybe they don't trust the authorities. Maybe they don't trust the LAPD to get justice. Maybe they don't trust in this whole situation that they're even going to get justice and that they're not going to get dragged into this in some way unfairly. There is a lot of miscarriages of justice, especially when it comes to the Hispanic community. So I do think that there's some very, very fair and sensitive and understandable reasons why they might actually not want to participate as much in this trial as maybe other people would have wanted to participate. Okay, so that is, I just don't think that's fair. Okay, I don't think it's fair to go that hard at the family, and I honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed in Nancy Grace going at it with that approach. Now, there's a few other interesting things going on with David and his career and his music and stuff that I'm going to talk to you about in this video before I do another one on the timeline. Apparently, YouTube have officially demonetized David's channel. We've suspended this artist from the YouTube partner program in accordance with our creator responsibility program policy following off-platform behavior that's harmful to YouTube's community. David can no longer earn money from YouTube, all right? And they're calling for his songs to be taken off of streaming platforms, I believe. Spotify are facing pressure to scrub alleged murderers' music. Now, I will say, you might be disappointed to hear this. It's all well and good getting kicked out of the YouTube monetization program. Now, I don't want to get kicked out of the YouTube monetization program, but I would like to think that I conduct myself responsibly, infinitely more responsibly than David. But I think Spotify, I do think when we get into the area, like there was talk of R. Kelly and Extentacion's music being taken off streaming platforms. Kendrick Lamar actually stuck up for them in that case. But I think that I'm not even somebody that says we should separate the art from the artist. I think that's very difficult. But what I will say is I do believe that even the most heinous people that create art, I think their art shouldn't be censored. It shouldn't be removed. It shouldn't be hidden. David snitched on himself in a lot of his songs. I think that should be out there for the whole world to hear. If that leads to a little bit of ad revenue that goes to him, to his label, that I'd say that's a necessary evil purely to allow the truth to be out there. And I don't think it's right to force his music to be removed, for it to be pushed underground. I think it should all be out there in the open. I think he snitched on himself a bunch. He's not going to be able to enjoy that money. I think, in my opinion, it's most likely he's going to be doing life in prison, maybe worse. He's not going to be able to enjoy that money. Now, the label put money into him when they didn't realize he was a PDF murderer. Say what you want about the label. Okay, the label created this music for the world to hear. David is the one who decided to snitch on himself in a lot of his music and basically dig his own grave with some of these self-incriminating songs. I think that should all be out there. And, look, bad people make money all different types of ways. He's not going to be able to enjoy that money. A big part of justice is putting him in jail. His label can run up all the money they want. He can't do shit with it. But I don't think the music should be scrubbed from streaming platforms, in my opinion, okay? But regardless, he's still not having a good time. He has apparently been kicked from his label, Interscope, all right? It says the label drop is full and 100% real. All of David's albums, all of them, now say David ENT LLC instead of at Interscope. I wonder If he has changed the credits on all of his albums, that might actually mean that the label has given him back his catalog. And so we don't even want, this is tainted. We don't even want the bad press associated with this. So you can have it back. Now that's unfortunate because, to be honest, that means David might be getting bigger splits on his music as all of this is going on. But again, all right, we will not be seeing this man spend his money. So apparently it is official. It says David no longer has key music business partnerships amid murder arrest. The singer-songwriter was dropped by key business partners before his Thursday arrest. And Billboard don't want us to have this information, but the title basically tells you he was dropped by business partners. The label's not rocking with him, all of that kind of stuff. Now, there's a few other things that I want to show you guys that's going around just around this that didn't really fit into other videos. Celeste's family members and relatives were actually celebrating his arrest a few days ago. This is 3 days ago. I believe this might be a cousin of Celeste. I've heard people saying. It says, finally, now I can get a good night's sleep tonight. I'm not scared of you anymore. That's what you get for threatening me, you piece of shit. So they're saying that David was threatening the family of Celeste. It says, but like usual, I'm ignored. I warned her. She's saying she warned Celeste. Posting the TikTok of David's arrest and charges, says they better go visit her grave or I'll haunt them forever. Me laughing, knowing soon enough I'll be pulling the switch on David's bitch ass. Hurrah! She's about to pull the switch on him. She said, this is why they keep you around, for you to make the money. And there's a picture of a bunch of cash there. That's looking like David's money. Could be someone else holding that. She says, I hope you rot in jail for the rest of your miserable life, you ungrateful son of a bitch. So she's standing on business, right? That is apparently Celeste's cousin. So there's some new images that have been circulating from David's camera roll, allegedly. These are apparently just some old pictures. I don't believe these are incriminating, but these are just a little bit of backstory of his lifestyle. We're seeing active studio sessions, where he would have been, where he would have been recording. This allegedly is in January of 2025. So, this is basically David's lifestyle. This is the sort of life he was living, where he was making his music, what he was getting up to. And I just thought it was interesting to just look at it because he won't be in these types of rooms no more. He'd be in a concrete padded cell. Okay. Ain't no way. Is this the same dude with the one video in the background where someone asks, are you still dating that minor? I ain't seen that before. That's crazy. That's crazy. So look, the rumor has it there is an official Netflix documentary or a Netflix film on David, or a premium documentary series. People saying expect it on Netflix. That's my bet. But a lot of people are excited for the David movie. It says, hi, my name is Blank. I'm a documentary producer at Blank Films, an award-winning documentary company specializing in high-end documentaries and factual series for platforms including Netflix, HBO Max, and Amazon Prime. I've been commissioned by a major streaming service to produce a premium documentary series on the story surrounding the tragic death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez and are about to go in production. You've likely received many approaches, so we wanted you to know this is a serious, committed project, not speculative inquiry. We're committed to telling this story with the utmost sensitivity. Our goal is to produce a documentary series that is compassionate, honest, and nuanced, one that celebrates Celeste's life while pursuing the full truth of what took place. As a company, we believe in treating everyone fairly, ensuring their point of view is fully represented. We wanted to make sure we include as many perspectives as possible, which is why I'm reaching out to you. We followed your brilliant subreddit since the news first broke about Celeste, and it's been an incredibly helpful tool for platforming voices that might not have otherwise been heard. We'd love to have the opportunity to speak to you about the project and your perspectives, perhaps discuss the possibility of working together if that's something you're open to. We're already working with a lot of people close to the story. Not me. I haven't got the call. Netflix, whoever this is, need to hit me up. All right, I'm ready to work. Just to make you aware, I've also directly messaged a few other moderators in your group. If you might be interested in learning more, would you be open to a non-binding, completely confidential call? They need to hit me up. All right, they need to hit me up. They need to hit me up. It says, what they don't understand is Dave Idiots is a large group of people that actually care about justice for Celeste. Since day one of the news, everyone contributed not to get clout or make money because they wanted to find the truth. They're asking the mods because they know the Reddit group has 7 months and a lot of info about David and Celeste's, and they want to make it so they can make money off everyone else's hard work and time to copy and paste it into their documentary and pass it off like their own work. I know a lot of people have put thousands of hours into this Reddit with their timelines, search through Discord, TikTok, YouTube, social media, Instagram, Twitch, photos, videos, so they can tell the world what's happening with this case and search for truth and get it out there and keeping Celeste's memory alive and striving for justice for Celeste, not for money or clout, but because they actually care deeply about this case. Celeste's life and death is not a TV show for entertainment, and sadly, that is what they want. They're saying this is disgusting, okay? I would like to see a good quality reasonable, balanced, not balanced like giving David some bail, but balanced like looking into all sides of this story and all of the communities that looked into this. I think that would be really good. I'd love to be involved in that. But I don't know. I don't know if they're feeling me. But anyway, that is the latest update. I thought David's brother turning on him is very, very major. I'm going to be back with another deep dive onto the timeline because I've rejigged the timeline like I did yesterday. And I know you guys really appreciated that timeline. So I'm going to do an updated version of it and I'm going to give you some more information. I'm really going to focus more on the idea that perhaps this was a very long planned premeditated murder that ended up happening. So I'll keep you guys informed. I will be back hopefully with 2 videos today. I've got another video about another UFO death, which I've been wanting to make for days, but I've just been so busy with the David case and some family stuff. So I will get that done very soon. But for now, stay tuned. I've got more content coming. Thank you so much for supporting me and using me as your news source. And for now, I'm out. See you in the next one.